flying through the shot. But the incident commander said, no, let's keep on this one. This person must be taken off. So they're going to keep the pressure on here. The pursuit is on. They are fully engaged with this suspect.
Here
and now at these slower speeds, even less of a reason to let this
go,
especially considering that this person is believed
Silver Dodge Charger.
So we don't know what
Gotta get these tweets out. Give me a second,
what
people.
the original charges were, but serious enough to warrant this type of dedication. Again, at least 8 units following this suspect through this neighborhood now on Mettler Avenue, just off of Victoria Street.
Making laps. I don't even know where we are at the moment.
This will be interesting.
We're going really slow. It feels like a place for an ejectocito. This could be a quick one. There's a reason why we're going so slow right now. Armed suspect is the want, so they will not be disengaging from this one anytime soon.
Those are the opportunities you look for to maybe give the go-ahead for a spike strip that you can lay down.
Well, before that spike strip gets laid down, boogity, boogity, boogity! Let's go, Jason, here in Carson. We are in prime time. I told you it is one of those weekends. There has been multiple chases throughout the day today. First one to make the actual broadcast, Silver Dodge Charger, pursuit of an armed suspect is the want here. We're going real slow. Knows he's being followed by LAPD. Now coming to a full stop. They're talking about laying down spike strips the more that he continues to circle around the area, and off we go. Don't know if that front officer is pit certified, as we're just getting going here with ABC7 in the air. Chris Christie. This is Friday night. People getting paid. You could tell last night there's something in the air. There have been chases, once again, throughout the day today. This is the first one to make television, and there's going to probably be many, many more.
That driver does not have a clear destination in mind. These all appear to be relatively random turns as he kind of goes through this neighborhood. Now pulling onto Main Street, a much busier street, paralleling the 110 freeway here.
How's everybody doing?
An attempt to get back on the freeway. Again, this all started, I believe, at LAPD's Harbor Division, and those are the units that you see here that have made their way up the 110 freeway, off the 91.
Birds everywhere. 5:53 p.m. Pacific time, rush hour on a Friday afternoon, summertime Los Angeles. The conditions are perfect for a chase. Perfect.
Helicopter does have the ability to get a better sense of what they're dealing with inside that vehicle, despite the fact that you can see just from this shot alone.
W's in the chat. We're my man. Hasta mañana. W's in the chat for one of our most generous community sub-gifters. As we go live here once again. TXT, if everyone's here. Friday afternoon, you know better than to go out and have lives. You know this is prime time chasing opportunity, and we have been rewarded for our patronage. 91 freeway. All roads lead to Downey. If we're headed eastbound, and we stay on the 91 for quite some time, we'll get the 105 at some point, and we are headed to Downey, Norwalk in about 20 minutes, depending on the traffic. We got to go east. We got to go northeast. Now we're getting on the freeway. You thought this one might be over with an ejectocito or a spike strip on the side streets. Not when we get to the freeway, and they are not going into tracking mode today. I think we've learned our lesson the past 48 hours with multiple chases that have gotten away, at least while the telecast was live. D's in the chat going out. ETM 117 dropping 10 tier 1 subs into our community. W's in the chat, whether you received one or not. We appreciate everyone provides ad-free viewing here on Birds in the Air.
That kind of matches up with my suspicion here. It's one of two things. Either they track that license plate down to that suspect, or maybe they were already surveilling the suspect.
Chris Christie's been on his shit lately. Eastbound 91, we're headed towards all of the gridlock. That is why you're seeing traffic. We're going to have interchanges. We're on the shoulder here. A FedEx truck ahead. On-ramp coming on. We are in no mood to slow down.
To get around a lot of this traffic, but still committed to the freeway, hugging that right lane. If he continues to encounter traffic, don't be surprised if he takes one of these exit ramps to get off of the freeway. In fact, he may be approaching an exit right here as he hugs that right lane, maybe even jumping onto the shoulder. He's already done that once, and you can see all of those units now traveling at a relatively, moderate pace here. He's not really racing.
This chase reeks of spike strips. I would be betting that future right now. We are headed towards the dirt. TXT, hello, my friend. 5 tier 1 subs going out into the chat from our friend TXT. He'll hopefully speak. He just received his shirt, by the way. TXT, can you speak to the people about the quality of the merchandise? Quite high, I think. Unbiased opinion, but we'll get a more objective one. Getting off the freeway here, Albertoni and Central. Don't know where we are exactly. We're coming out of Carson, but we are in no mood to slow down, no mood to stop. Now we're headed into a parking lot. Is that a Denny's? No, it's a McDonald's.
This appears to be a gas station. He's now traveling through this parking lot. He's probably going to use it as a way to...
TXT says, got a sick Fur Missile shirt. Appreciate it. You are welcome.
He has a ton of eyes on him, guys. A whole lot of units.
Units, look at all of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of which look pit certified with cages in the front. 7 units engaged. LAPD airship just flew overhead. Don't even know, maybe the CHP or the Sheriff's Department might be on this one too. Armed suspect is really wanted here. That is probably why. Armed and dangerous. No chases go to die like last night. Those of you, by the way, just joining us, top left corner of your screen, you see at Skywab Alerts. Many of you missed the 3rd chase last night because it happened in between the 4-hour period that Twitch does not allow you to send multiple notifications. If you are not following Skywab Alerts on Twitter, you will not get any chase that occurs within 4 hours of the previous one. You have to follow that account for your notifications. No pit maneuvers here thus far, waiting until either an approval or they find an area in which there's no pedestrians in the crosswalk or a bus like that. If there's any other innocent drivers ahead, parked cars, they try and avoid all that.
At these speeds, guys, I have to believe that they're going to probably, if they have the opportunity and enough empty roadway to play with, they will probably give the go-ahead for a pit maneuver. But right now, at these speeds, they're just going to continue at this slow pace, as you can see here, even keeping a little bit of a distance. That primary unit is about 8 or 10 car lengths behind them, and they're just kind of traveling at these safe speeds with him. As you mentioned, Mark, he's not posing an immediate danger in the sense that we haven't seen terribly dangerous or erratic driving. And at these speeds, they can keep this a relatively low-risk pursuit and just wait for him to run out of gas and some other way.
It is a Dodge Charger. Thank you, Jasper. You know your cars.
Time is up. But right now,
Silver Dodge Charger, not sure on the year, but that is a Dodge Charger. Look at the front hood of that Dodge Charger starting to pop up a little bit. Or is that the paint?
Trying very hard to get away, let's say.
See, this is Ellen Lave along with David Ono. You're watching Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock.
Well, the good news for him on the spike strips is he continues to change areas. The more you circle around the same block, the more opportunity it allows the police department to start gambling. And by gambling, I mean pick corners where they station some of their officers with spike strips. You get a spike strip queen out there is waiting, and then they'll try and disable the vehicle that way. But if you are erratic with your driving activity, you will avoid them.
A lot of traffic, but he's driving fairly cautiously. We are getting a little more information now. Apparently, he is a known gang member. Now, look at this. All of those units have been called off. They are now taking a hands-off approach.
Oh!
The helicopter call out the location. So, for the time being...
Wow, okay, we're going to go into tracking mode. We've seen this the past couple of days here. This is on purpose.
Continue to follow his whereabouts.
They are going to let this, pretend like they're letting this guy go to try and get him to ditch the vehicle.
We're going to see them re-engage this pursuit.
Oh, this isn't over, though. Airship is most certainly tracking them, and they'll hang out a block or two behind.
Now, they have fallen back. Let's see how his behavior changes as we make our way.
He may think he's getting away.
He's now back again onto Albertoni Street. This is now the 3rd time we have been in that same exact area, just to the east of Main Street along Albertoni Street. He's done an entire loop around this neighborhood, a full 2 or 3 times already.
U-turn.
A random U-turn.
He may already think he's getting away. This is incentive to eject Osido. We're reaching towards the glove box of the passenger side in the front seat. Potential weapon in there as this is an armed suspect.
Driving terribly erratic, but still, that airship is overhead, watching his each and every move, despite the fact that those ground units have now pulled back considerably.
Yeah, a really good look at that driver there when you can see through that front windshield, part of the problem, as well as the moonroof. But part of the problem is those tinted windows all around the vehicle. We can't see if there's anybody else in there. And as you reported earlier, Chris, somebody did jump out of that vehicle just prior to us joining this pursuit. There is that possibility that somebody else could be there. Nevertheless,
About to hit the 6 o'clock news hour here. Prime time chasing in Los Angeles. We are live on ABC7 and across many other networks here shortly, as all the local news is about to get headed to an intersection. He almost T-boned him as Chris Christie zoomed out there. That was a lot closer than it should have been. That was a solid red light. Known gang member.
Which leads me to maybe believe that perhaps these were gang units that were tracking the suspect, and then the suspect took off. But in any event, we find ourselves now tracking this this known gang member through the streets here without any police behind him. And the driving, again, just
Why
a
do people
casual
keep saying happy
joyride through
birthday?
the streets of Carson here, once again, back on Main Street and Albertoni. So
Same
this is
area.
the fourth time that we've been in
We
this
are
exact
hovering in the same. He's probably familiar with it.
He's coming up with another
Could potentially
opportunity
ditch the
on freeway,
vehicle.
bypassing the freeway there. You saw he went underneath the 91 freeway, is now continuing northbound on Main Street, where there are many more opportunities to turn left and get onto the 110 freeway, or he could take the straight up north along Main Street. Fortunately, this is a very industrial part of town here as he continues northbound on Main Street. So if there were units behind
Man,
it's a
when I tell you it's in the air,
it's
there is
obvious
police
that
chasing in the
suspects
air
are
these past
all
2
that
days.
maneuver, but right now, again, they have fallen
Just
back.
feels like in LA. Anyone else getting that vibe here? Lives in Los Angeles? Like people are out and about. The weather's really nice. It's Friday. Full moon. Bright ass
They've
moon.
had opportunities to do the spike strip when they were in those smaller residential streets, and now we're in the Gardena area, turning left on, looks like 168th Street.
Okay, so the hood is fine. It's just the color.
Guys, that LAPD helicopter has just peeled off. So LAPD's airship now heading somewhere else, maybe with other police business, who knows, and those ground units have fallen back completely. And so this joyride will continue without any pressure whatsoever, and perhaps, you know, you can never get into the mind of you know, how these
York
decisions
Bison,
are being
what's
made.
up, my
Maybe
dude?
the female that jumped out of the vehicle
5 tier 1
was the
subs.
primary target. You never know, but that's
So
certainly
if they had a
possibility.
female
They were
ejectocito,
discussing an armed female in the early stages of this pursuit, and when that female jumped out, maybe, just maybe, that might be their priority. But in any event, the man.
Don't you
behind the
dare
wheel of
believe
this
it, though.
Mercedes,
Don't
is,
you dare.
himself with
got like
any
50,000
more
concurrents watching this on YouTube. They are not watching the 6 o'clock news.
over, and we will continue to track it
No.
back over to you unless anything changes.
all right, Chris, keep an eye on this. We're going to break away from this pursuit, a very interesting pursuit. We're trying to get some answers.
Why? You know they're going to come back to it when it picks up anyway. You never leave a chase.
Get on the ground right now. Get on the ground right now.
King A. You're going to lose all your viewership and no one's going to come back in when it actually picks up because they're in tracking mode. You know they're not letting it go. Stand by. I'm going to try and find us a... There's got to be another network that can pick this up. Give me a second. I'm going to go to KTLA. No one's watching the local news. All right, give me a second, guys, as I'm going to click around trying to find another network that's carrying. Very frustrating. More people will watch that person drive around than they will the local news. Isn't that what it's all about? Okay, nothing on Fox. Eliana? Nothing. Nada. Shit out of luck. Try KCal. KCal. It's loading. Give it a second. KCal's in the weather. See? It's not a bad view, though. I guess I'm just going to stay with it for a couple minutes because you know what happens. The moment I disconnect is the moment they're going to go back to it and they're going to be re-engaged. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes. All right. Disappointing to say the least. Well, you guys are still here again. If I do disconnect and they do re-engage with it, top left corner of your screen, Skywob Alerts on Twitter is the only place that'll let you know we're back on. If you don't follow that, you will not get a Twitch notification for those of you that have them turned on here as well. We're going to give it until 6:10 local. It's 6:08. We're going to wait for an update.
The neighbor was able to get her into his car, and he says Perone then pulled a switchblade and pointed it toward him. She eventually left, a witness followed, and police arrested her in a grocery store parking lot nearby. In addition to attempted kidnapping, she is also charged with assault.
Yeah, that was going to be close to a 4-star.
We recently informed homeowners that increasing number of thieves are using Google Street Maps to case out homes before they break in.
But that's not the only site to be aware of. New at 6 o'clock, Inland Empire Bureau Chief Robert McMillan has some suggestions from police to help make your homeless home less of a target for burglars.
It's something we're seeing more and more of on Google Street Maps.
One more minute.
Homeowners blurring out their properties to make their homes less visible to potential thieves. Because police say that some theft rings actually go online to scope out neighborhoods ahead of time.
The problem is that the internet makes everything super easy these days.
And Riverside Police Detective
Not a bad
Jared
idea to
Suttel
blur your
says
home out.
thieves he's arrested have actually used Redfin and Zillow as well, looking for pictures that realtors post.
They're able to really kind of see what's
That's a smart
inside the
idea.
house, especially when the house has recently been on the market.
Suttel also says thieves are using
Dallas
drones
Reeds isn't
to
in the
case
studio. I was watching him
neighborhoods.
before.
To kind of scope out the house, take a look in the windows, see what they can see inside the windows of people's houses, using drones, looking in the backyard, seeing if they have dogs.
Police say there's another reason you might want to go onto Google Maps and see what your home looks like on there, because we found a number
How do
of
you even do
examples
that?
where the garage door was wide open and potential thieves could see everything inside of it.
You know, like any technology, it just makes crime easier, and people have to be more vigilant and more careful with what information they're putting out there.
If you'd like to remove photos that are on Zillow, there are instructions online on how to do it. As far as blurring your home on Google Maps, all you need to do is bring up your property, click on Report a Problem, and answer a few questions. Be advised, though, once Google blurs something, it can't be undone. Suttel says perhaps the most important thing you can do, though, get to know your neighbors.
I mean, we had a high-profile case a couple years ago that was a triple murder that they ended up solving because of a vigilant neighbor that noticed a car that wasn't supposed to be in the neighborhood. So, yeah, I mean, it's always helpful having good neighbors and being neighborly with people and really getting to know who's supposed to be there and who's out of place.
In Riverside, Rob McMillan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Coming up, the FBI is launching a new campaign to help you identify scams.
How you
Okay.
can take a beat before you open that suspicious email or text.
Don't click it. Dallas!
Cool down in Southern California, but will it last? The forecast is next.
Who called Dallas Reigns in the chat? We got Dallas Reigns coming up next. Isn't that crazy? His last name, Dallas Reigns. I mean, come on. For a weatherman, one of the most recognizable people in LA, Dallas Reigns. Yeah, the chase is over. We were watching the local news to see if they go back to it because they usually tend to do that. Sometimes we can even find sometimes a helicopter stream, not just the news, but you know what I can try? You know what I can try is the direct link. I'm pretty sure their YouTube doesn't have it. Let's see. I wonder if this is just another way to watch their live. I'm trying to find hacks. It did not work. ABC7. YouTube. Nope.
Loaded magazine and additional.
Nope. That one's done too. All right, people. Unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to call it, as they are back in the news and there's no update. Very unfulfilling couple days of chases here, right? Unfulfilled. No resolutions on any of them. Chat wants Dallas Reigns.
Resale. You can't go wrong with a Honda.
It's, the weather report is... Yeah, the weather report's not going to be for like another 10 minutes. Too long. You could just go to YouTube and watch ABC7 if you want some Dallas Reigns. But, all right, people. Till next time. Let me put this back up. Birdsintheair.com. If you're interested in any merchandise, we got some cool stuff in there. User approved, high quality shirts and sweatshirts. Notifications at Skywab Alerts on Twitter. Turn them on Twitch as well in case we come back later tonight, 4 hours from when we started this stream. But until then, see you on the timeline. Oh, I'm gonna be away this weekend for the most part. I'm going up to Portland for the IndyCar race. So I'm going to be unlikely to be covering chases unless they happen like super late at night or super early and I'm at the hotel. Otherwise, I'm going to be at the track. So, just so you guys know, for this weekend, unlikely. But until then,